Chet, hard to believe this Sunday marks the 50th anniversary of the Flyers' first Stanley Cup champion. The team to this day are the darlings of the city. Fred Shero's quote, "Win today and walk together forever," certainly is true with this group 50 years later.
Yeah, well, first of all, 50 years, man, and we remember it quite well, which can only mean one thing. We are pretty old. Speaking of that Freddie Shero quote, we had Joe Watson on the show back in 2021, and he had this to say about the 74 Cup, Bobby Clark, and yes, Fred Shero, and that quote.
You know, we had one of the greatest leaders in all of sports at the time was Bob Clark. You know, being a diabetic and everything else and seeing all the things he had to go through. It's amazing, you know, how he survived and how long he played and how hard he played.
Well, he was a great leader, and your coach was rather an intriguing guy, Freddie the Fog Shero. 8 years with the Flyers. He was there till 78, as you were. Give me a Fred Shero story.
Well, of course, his favorite saying, "When the day walk together forever," will go down and go down in the history of the annals of sports for forever. And it was his saying that came up with that, and it's true. I mean, we're still together today. We have about 14 or 15 guys that played in the Stanley Cup team still live in Philadelphia. So that says a lot about the area and the players themselves.
Don't you love Joe Watson?
Yeah, you do. And, you know, as I was thinking about this, get ready for the show, I was thinking about the Gary Dornhoffers and those guys, Joe Watsons, the Ed Van Imps that came in from the expansion teams and, you know, started out here and they're still here. And, you know, I think about our pal Carl Henderson. I talk to him a lot about this because he's always bringing these Broad Street Bullies back to his store. And every time he brings them back, they line up around the building to get autographs of these guys 50 years later. The love for this team has never wavered.
And we've had Bob Hound Kelly on many times. And even though he couldn't play in the 74 finals due to a knee injury, he, of course, has fond memories of that first cup and the parade that followed.
It was good. I mean, it just, you know, it was an outstanding win. Like you said, it was a big boost for Philadelphia people, fans, and that. The city came together. I mean, it was awesome. 2 million people. It was awesome. And we were the first expansion team to win the cup. So pretty significant fact there. And, you know, having a guy like Freddie Sherrill and Ed Snyder and Keith Allen, everybody enjoying it. I mean, they put the team together. It was awesome.
Bill, I don't know about you, but that 73-74 season, I was all in. I watched or listened to every game. I actually kept little, you know, scoring notes and wrote it down. I don't know why. I did a scrapbook when they won the series. I still have it in my garage somewhere. I'm going to have to pull that out and look at it again. It was just so much fun. I remember the final, well, the series against the Rangers was crazy. And then they won the Bruins series on a Sunday afternoon. And, you know, we all remember watching it. And then Gene Hart's call, of course. Here it is. This is how it ended late Sunday afternoon, May 19th, 1974.
15 seconds left in the game. 10 seconds. Morris shoots it down the ice. Ross makes the save. Ladies and gentlemen, the Flyers are going to win the Stanley Cup. The Flyers win the Stanley Cup. The Flyers win the Stanley Cup. The Flyers have won the Stanley Cup.
Still gives me chills to this day. I remember exactly where I was watching it. And the city at that time, you know, we talk about this a lot too. You know, these young guys, and we hang around with a lot of young guys because there are not many old guys like us around anymore. But they don't know what it was like when these Philadelphia teams stunk. The Eagles stunk every year. The Phillies stunk every year when we were kids. And the Flyers came in and were pretty good right from the start. And then they got better, and then they won the cup, and then winning became a thing. And we really liked that. And then all of a sudden the Phillies started, Steve Carlton arrived, you know, Dick Vermeil arrived, and all of a sudden things have changed. And but it was these guys, and it was Bobby Clark and Bernie Parent and Fred Sherrill pretty much were the leaders of that bunch that changed the whole sports culture in this city.
Yeah, I mean, it was dismal in the early 70s, as you said. And then by, 74, 75, 76, the future was looking a whole lot brighter. The Flyers got those 2 cups, played for a third, came up short against Montreal, although Reggie Leach got the Conn Smythe award for scoring 19 goals in the postseason, which was just
if Bernie
crazy.
didn't get hurt in that season, they probably win that one too.
Yeah. And the Phillies were making the playoffs 3 years in a row, eventually winning a series in 1980. The Sixers didn't quite get there in the late 70s. They said, we owe you one. We owe you two. But we had to wait till 83 for the Sixers to finally win one. And yeah, Dick Vermeil turned the Eagles around and turned them into a playoff contender and got to the Super Bowl in the 1980 season. So yeah, what a decade the 70s was for the Philadelphia sports scene.
Yeah, and the other thing too, people think about the parades that have taken place over the last few years, the Super Bowl parade and the 2008 parade and all that. Those Flyers parades were epic. You know,
did you go to either of them?
Yeah, went to the second one. Didn't go to the first one.
Okay.
But they, nobody had ever done anything like that to the magnitude of millions of people flooding the streets. Now it's everybody wants to try to top it. I think the only one that tops those parades are Philly fans topping other parades because other towns can't do what happened here in Philadelphia with that.
Well, I mean, it's great that so many Flyers players, alumni from those 1974 and 75 Cup winning teams are still around and still around the area as well. So they were clearly a tight bunch, and we've been fortunate to have several of them on our show over the years. And, hopefully we'll see them again before too long.
Yeah. And the other cool thing is the Flyers have been great about hiring their own people.
Yep.
You will Flyers game at the Wells Fargo Center, and you could be walking the corridors and see any number of these guys that are either just walking around or they're at a table, they're greeting people, whatever. They've always got something going on. It's really cool.